Hi, I'm Pandora with the Family Advocacy Program at the Detroit Arsenal, Army Community Services, and today we're going to talk about change.
That's right, change. Does anyone know what change is? Have any of us experienced change?
Well, I know we're all going through change right now, Kim, but according to the dictionary, the definition for change is to make the form, nature, content, future course something different from what it is or from what it would be if it was left alone. I think most of us are experiencing some form of change right now in light of this pandemic and closer to home, the shutdown of Michigan.
That's right, but I think, it's still important to remember that this is not the first time that any of us have experienced change. I mean, we all have at some level, whether we've gotten married, that requires change, or divorced, or given birth to a child, maybe even experienced an unpleasant health diagnosis. I mean, really, the list goes on. But the point is, we've all experienced change.
Yes, we have all the time. And we've either experienced change in a positive or a negative way. But even change that on the surface seems negative and we have the tendency to resist it can serve as an opportunity to benefit us in some way. Even this video today, I've never done a YouTube video before, so this is a big change for me. And I'm actually excited to come to you and be able to speak to you despite the fact that we're so far apart. And even today, as we're social distancing today with this video, as you can see looking at us, we are doing exactly that. But we can still get our message across in terms of doing something different in terms of change.
That's right. And, I've also gone through change very recently. Just last year, we moved to Michigan, my family. My husband started a new job. I started a new job just a few months ago. Several years ago, I experienced a health diagnosis I wasn't anticipating. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That certainly brought about a lot of change. But it wasn't all bad. Through that process, I was inspired to write a book, something I never would have done had I not gone through breast cancer. I met some wonderful people through that, that were part of a support group I was in. And then ultimately, I would say the biggest positive result of that was that I think made me a better person because I learned to empathize with people more. Before that, I think my life was pretty easygoing for the most part, and I didn't understand pain and suffering the way I do now. So even when we go through difficult trials, good can come out of them.
Yes, that's a good example, Kim, about a positive change, something that you can, I say you can turn, you've heard this before probably, that you can take lemons and turn it into lemonade. And so that's outstanding, that example, Kim.
Thank you.
Even yourself, you might find yourself in the midst of change and you're resistant to keep the following in mind if you are a person that's resistant to change. Take care of yourself and find ways to let go of the past. Don't burn bridges or say things you might regret. Look for people who make you feel better and avoid those who bring you down. This is a time of positivity. I've had neighbors to call me. And in all honesty, I do know my neighbors on the right and left, but I know that people now are coming together even more so. We've heard it on the news about contacting your loved ones because there are people right now who have loved ones in hospitals, in nursing facilities that they cannot reach out to. And just like we're using this social media to contact you, I know that you can do the same thing. So take advantage of that. All of these ideas are found online at armyonesource.com. So if you need more, please look up armyonesource.com, myarmyonesource.com.
That's right. And eventually, you're going to begin to move forward and shift to a more positive outlook that considers more favorable future possibilities.
Yes. This is called the exploration phase when faced with change. During this time, you'll want to set priorities and use time management skills. If you don't set a deadline, it's not going to happen. And everyone knows that that's just a fact. If you don't set a deadline, then you won't make that happen. So, and don't seek perfection. Just begin. If you, at some point during these video sessions, we're going to share. I actually wrote a book. I wrote a book years ago, and one of the poems in my book, it speaks about perfection, and I'm going to share that at some point. So use your newfound energy to consider ways to confront the change and solve it.
That's right. And you know, once you get to this point, you are ready for a new and improved you, I like to call it. And at this point, you may have a better idea of your personal strengths and weaknesses and have learned how to better adapt to change. And also, at this point, remember to celebrate your successes. When you've gone through change and you made some positive steps in your life, celebrate those.
That's right. I want to take this time right now, and as you listen to me, and just recognize our audience, Kim. Today we're speaking to, the Child Development Center, and that you are the essential employees that are giving up your time, showing up to work, and being a blessing in your environment. And we want to recognize that. We want you to know that we're putting these together for an encouragement for you, and keep keeping on, and we're so thankful for that. So you're helping so many people. So unexpected change can bring with uncertainty fear of the unknown, feelings of loss, mistrust of new ideas, and fear of failure. But you don't have to let these concerns stop you in your tracks. View change as an opportunity.
That's right. That is such a good point. And remember to reach out to friends and family, as you mentioned earlier, as well as coworkers who can speak positively into your life. We've talked about that. You know, now isn't the best time to surround yourself with negative people. And don't forget that it helps when we're experiencing change that we're initially resistant to take the focus off of ourselves by helping others. That certainly helps.
Yes. And also, thank you for watching. You know, we can turn to Channel 2 and Channel 7 and CNN, but take a break and check in with us and continue to give us the feedback. We appreciate that. And we hope that over the last few minutes that what you've learned is that change isn't necessarily bad. Remember, we're all in this together.
That's right, and together we are better. So we will see you next time when we focus on concrete steps that you can take wherever you are when life feels out of control.